welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Joan Milliman, who is here on behalf of GRF. Well, Joan, thank you. It's been a while. How are you?
Just fine. It's nice to see you too.
I know
Even if it's
it's
this
the
way.
only way we can do it for now. And you're still, but you still have to follow those procedures, even though you're on Zoom, right?
Right, right.
Good. Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad you're doing good and you look great. So you are here on behalf of GRF. So what do you got for us?
A couple of things. We had a corporate meeting Monday where we elected a new board member. So we have a new board member with Maggie Blackwell.
Oh, okay.
And we had an organizational meeting because we lost our treasurer. So we had to elect a new treasurer. And we got through the election up to the voting point, and then there was a tie. So we continued the voting until the next day. So what happened with that was we elected James Hopkins as the new treasurer, and James had been the second vice president, so he left a vacancy. So we elected Don Tibbetts as our second vice president.
Wow, a lot of movement.
Yeah, a lot of that. So the old officers are still the same, with Bunny Carpenter president and Egon Garthoffner first vice president and myself as secretary. So that was all cleared up. Then we got to the actual new business, and the first thing we talked about was a new strategic planning committee charter, which was approved. The main focus of the strategic planning committee is to work with the managing agent in developing strategic plans and all the aspects that are included on that. It's quite a detailed committee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was all part of the charter. Then
Right.
the next thing we worked on was GRF committee appointments, which were approved, and that's a huge list. But there is a new ad hoc committee under maintenance and construction, the Energy Solutions ad hoc committee, which is now new and always a part of us. They advise us on the best ways to save energy and what the latest, not techniques, but the latest software and equipment is in the field. And Sue Stevens is chairing that.
Mm-hmm.
We had a discussion. Go ahead. Yeah,
No, that's okay.
just jump
That
in.
sounds like that's a great committee, because you always need to know about those things, and who doesn't want to save money?
Well, and there's so much being done in the field right now, including solar energy and wind energy and grids and one thing and another. And it's a tough field to keep up on because it changes daily. And then the energy, well, we all know how much it costs us with the electricity being our main source. Mm-hmm. And we had a discussion on the frequency of committee meetings because everybody's worried there's so many, and we're going to be working on cutting them down and refining those. That's just part of it. Then new business, we had an amendment to the Department of Recreation Special Events Department, where people can now obtain fee-based security services when hosting special events as deemed necessary by the department. Well, lots of times, we have large crowds, or there's lots of money, or whatever. There's things that need security there. So to determine whether you have to have extra security is determined by the type of location or estimated attendance, the serving of alcoholic beverages, whether there's a high-profile guest there and or a high-profile event that might draw attention from the news media. So all those things are taken into consideration by the Recreation Department.
Okay.
And so now you can get that security for about, I think it's $40 an hour, and that would be included in the contract for that event.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the main things that we decided. Mm-hmm. And those were the activities. Then we had committee reports after that. So I wanted to highlight a couple of things from the reports, just so everybody knows. First thing, the Equestrian Center ad hoc committee lets us know that through the Village Community Fund, people can make donations to the herd. It's called Help the Herd. And if they check the Village Community Fund website, this is launching in February, but the money that's donated goes directly to the Equestrian Center to help, with all the things they need there.
Mhm.
And you get credit for it as a donation. So
That's
keep that.
great.
Yeah. Landscape Committee reports that the creek is looking good. They've had a huge creek cleanup,
Hmm.
and they found one male pond turtle.
Oh,
One pond turtle.
one
Those are
pond turtle in that whole place.
Yeah, well, we're hoping there'll be more, but anyway. Media and Communications reports that the Breeze is now on electronics, and you can, so when you read the Breeze online, you can actually go to the links that are there rather quickly. Of course, it's a coffee table publication right now, so I don't know that we don't just limit it, keep the
Right. I mean, it's
book.
nice to have the physical thing, because it's not like you're
Oh,
carrying
yeah.
your computer around, watching everything, or your iPad, and your phone is too darn
No.
small.
Yeah. And there's always good stuff in there that you need, daily, frankly.
Right.
The next meeting of the Media and Communications is going to have a broadband group it's called the Broadband Group, and they're consultants. Well, they report on our cable system, and they're researching that right now and seeing how, cable is on its way out in the future, and we're looking at what we can do to make it, convenient for keep our TV. We will keep that, but there's a lot to be considered. So that there'll be a full report to the board probably the next month, but our next meeting will have that. One thing I need to tell you is, security and community access says that, as of January 1st, we're not using decals anymore.
Right.
We're just using the RFID on your headlight. So you can scrape it off or keep it or whatever you want to do, but it's the RFID, the radio frequency ID, that will be letting you in and out of the village. And if you don't have one, you're going to have to get one. And I think they cost, what, 75? Is it that much? Or 25? I forget. Anyway, it's not terrible, but please, you can't get in and out without it. And further, the Security Committee advised that try to keep a fire extinguisher in your kitchen, because most of the fires that start are in the kitchen, and people leave the stoves on or whatever, and they get going and they smolder, and it's best to have a handy fire extinguisher somewhere. So that's pretty much all I have. We're going to meet with the corporate members on January 18th to approve the new bylaws for GRF, but that's kind of it. That's the report.
Well, that's a great update. I mean, it's always interesting to know that you've got new people and you've shifted people around, and then of course you've got some new committees, which are, good stuff. I mean, you gotta keep things fresh, and you gotta, keep business going. So thank you for the update.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. It was a pleasure.
All right, Joan, you
Short and
take
sweet.
care now.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And we'll be right back after this.